Okay, good evening everybody, and welcome to another Team3R group ride. Tonight we're on the pan flat Borrego Springs. We're going to be doing 4 laps at round about 2 watt-kilo pace for me. I've just come off the back of 2 weeks flu, so I'm not feeling very good or very strong. Still actually quite chesty, so I'm going to take it easy. As I say, about 2 watt-kilo, give or take, and we'll see how it goes. Nice to see some familiar faces. As I say, I'm quite chesty, so you'll have to excuse me. I probably won't be doing an awful lot of dialogue during this ride, and I'll probably be coughing a fair bit. But let's say hello to everybody in the chat. I'm not using the camera tonight purely and simply because I'm not in full kit, and I'm not really in the mood for showing people just how much I am suffering. Oh, it sounds like Kate's organising, folks. That's great work, Kate. Thank you. And Rob's here. Okay, I'm going to let Kate more or less lead the group tonight, purely and simply because I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to manage. Truth is, I shouldn't even be doing this yet, but you've got to get back on the bike sometime. I've been taking the girls to school, so been doing a little bit of okay, start your engines, folks, and enjoy the ride. 4 laps, here we go. Now the hard part is finding where the people are. Okay, it's just behind me, so there she is. So we'll just follow Kate now. Welcome, Lou. Nice to see you. Well, welcome everybody. It's nice to see a good turnout, actually, by the look of it. I'm quite pleased with this, considering I haven't been able to join the group for a couple of weeks. But you can hear from my breathing, it's hard. Like your bike, Kate. Nice BMC. Not as nice as my Evo, of course. And I'm looking far too skinny. So how was the training going, Kate, anyway? I think you've got something like 64 days left before you start your TABR, Trans America Bike Race. For those that don't know, Kate was down to do the Rio TABR. She's just giving me a wave, so she's obviously listening. Kate was down to do the Rio TABR, but because of the pandemic and the logistics of it all, she's now decided to do it virtually with a bit of help from the folks on RGT, and she's got a good team around her. And I admire her for doing that. As a one-time holder of the indoor cycling record, or albeit over on Swift, I know all about endurance cycling indoors and outdoors for that matter. So the training that goes into it is pretty intensive. And I'm getting hot. I don't know if I have any fans plugged in. Let's have a look and see whether any of them actually come on if I press the buttons. Nope. Well, that's useful, Derek. No fans. Oh. Mind you, it's quite cold up here. I'm in the attic, my pain cave, and it's quite cool up here. We've had snow today, and I think it's snowing now. So it's pretty cold out there, but I am way overheating, so the top's coming off. That's better. The great thing about riding, group riding like this with the bots, is you can get into a nice pace. You've got enough humans around you to keep it steady. We've got Luke in this group. You've got Kate. Both of us wearing the Team3R kit. You've got Paul Douglas. He's joined us. You've got A Noble. I don't know what the A is. If you want to message me in chat and let me know. And just to explain how you differentiate the real riders from the bots, or the pace partners as they're called. The pace partners are the riders with the grey insignia next to the name, whereas the real riders have got a flag. Like, for example, I've got the Dutch flag next to my name, D. Bulcock. Kate has got the American flag next to hers. So that's generally how you can tell who are the real riders and who are the bots. Now, the bots are programmed at different weights and different watt kilos. But basically what I've tried to do, it looks like I've been successful. I've tried to program the bots so that we've got a decent handful at least riding round about the core values today. And I always knew that this was going to be between 2 and 2.5, the ride tonight. So I programmed the watts from the pace partners to reflect that. It's one of the great things about being able to organise these rides, as well as put us on the real roads, to be able to assign the bots. Now we've got a rider behind me, Luke. Can't help thinking this pace is a bit high, but I know Luke's pretty strong, so I've no doubt he'll close up. I'm sorry I'm not typing in the typing type chat, but to be honest, I'm all on concentrating on staying with the group. If I start thinking about typing when I'm already struggling with my breathing, I think I'm just going to get dropped, and I don't want to get dropped. I don't want to have to put in a big effort, because that's going to hurt too much. And it's much easier to just stay with the riders like I'm doing here. Now if you look up the top left hand side of the screen where it shows my power and my cadence, you see that underneath, occasionally highlighted in green, it'll tell you how many watts I'm saving. That's down to the drafting. So I'm currently saving 200 watts. Now I'm not, because I've come alongside and in front of Kate. But when I actually pull into the draft of one of the bots or one of the humans, you'll see that number change. Now, I'm not really concentrating hard tonight, but in a race situation I would be. I'd be ensuring that I don't lose wheels and that I saved as much energy as I could. Should really be doing that tonight, but I'm too tired to be asked, so I'll just settle for staying with the group any way I can. And to be fair, it's fluctuating nicely. It's going from like 1.8 to 2.5, but it's flowing nicely. So providing you don't get spit out the back through inattentiveness, you should be able to hang on. If you can, if you can hold 2 watt kilos, then you should be able to hang on to this group. Because you can see most of the bots are doing 1.8, steady pace. So the average pace is probably about 1.8 for some of us, depending on your weight. The average pace for me is probably just over 2, I think, at the moment. This is a really good This is a really good course for actually working on your drafting technique. Watching the numbers and learning where you get the best draft. How quickly to close up a wheel like I'm doing there. Overshot it then. Now that's not good technique, but gives you an idea. And by practicing this, you can very quickly become quite proficient at it. When I first started racing in the Flemish for Beginners races, which are basically capped at 3.2 watt kilos limit, I really struggled. I was like in the at the back of the groups, really struggling, getting dropped on a regular basis. Then I decided that I'd had enough of that malarkey. I'm too experienced a rider to keep getting dropped. So I pulled up a couple of YouTube videos, Mike Lister's, Jonathan Crane's. Jonathan Crane's videos are fantastic when it comes to technique. And I basically watched Jonathan explaining the dynamics of drafting much better than I'd previously appreciated. And about the same time as I did that, RGT upgraded the drafting. They improved it drastically, really. I mean, overnight it went from being so-so to being pretty bloody impressive in terms of realism. So I coupled that with the videos, mostly Jonathan's but also Mike Lister's, and I think it's fair to say within a couple of weeks I'd picked up sufficient knowledge to no longer be getting, dropped at the beginning of the races. And in fact, from almost coming in dead last on some of the races, I achieved 2 top 10s in my last 2, which is not bad given where I'm coming from, returning from serious injury, etc., etc. Not making excuses, but I was really happy with the transformation, the fact that I could actually hold with a group, and I could work out how to stay with the surges, when to back off. So learning drafting, folks, if you're going to race, or if you're going to ride competitively on RGT, it's worth spending a bit of time learning it, because it makes a huge difference. I mean, I could do a group ride like this without ever poking my nose at the front. But where's the fun in that? I'm sweating like the proverbial pig at the moment. And we're only one lap down. Saying that, a third distance gone. So we're not doing so bad. I think we're looking at about 45 minutes at this pace. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. But yeah, I'd say 45, 50 minutes. Which is just nice for, obviously, first ride back. As we go further into the month, the group rides get a little bit longer. We're back on this course towards the end of the month, and we're actually doing 5 laps, but the pace will be slightly higher. Probably more like 2.5 to 3. But we'll see. It all depends who turns up and what the general feeling is. To be honest, the longer I'm cycling, I know I'm puffing and panting, but this is actually doing me a lot of good. It's opening up my airway. It's the first time I feel like I'm been breathing properly for a fortnight, so I'm actually enjoying this. But I do wish, well, the reason why I've no fans, folks, is because I've been tidying up and reassembling the pain cave for my streaming. You've probably noticed a couple of changes, like the interface, etc. But there's more changes going on behind the scenes, which you're going to see over the coming weeks. I'm going to be doing a lot more varied race coverage on RGT. There's Kate having a spurt. So it's important not to let a gap go when she does that and get on a wheel. There you go. Pull up to the wheel and then just, you can see I went from 3 to 1.4 watt kilo. No, don't be sorry, Kate. It's nice to see you stretching your legs. You're looking strong, lass, which augurs well for your competition. Big difference to the last time we rode together, which was quite a while ago, but you've come on in leaps and bounds, lass. All this training is paying off, because you look smooth, you look easy. Me that's struggling. Let's zoom out and see what's happening to the rest of the group. If I can. I don't know, it'll let me. Yeah, there we go. Oh, looks like we're on our own. What's happened to the rest of the group? Well, Rob's behind us. He's obviously bringing up the rear. He decided to have a very early night, easy night. And Luke's leading the group 60 metres in front. but I'm just quite happy at this pace for the time being. I think we'll probably see Luke drop off the pace slightly. He usually does. This is in push mode tonight, which I think he said he wasn't, so yeah, he's dropping. You can see now we're actually we've joined Paul Douglas, and we're actually catching Luke, because Luke's like slowing it down a little. So expect us to come back together. Nice of Paul to wait. Yes, Kate, it is. Hope you're enjoying the ride, Paul. I don't know if this is the first time I've seen you on one, but good to have you on board, sir. The only thing I will tell you off for is, where's your Team3R jersey? I know Lou's jersey's amazing, but it's not half as amazing as ours. So next time I want you wearing it, okay? Consider yourself told off. And there we go, there's the catch. So Luke's dropped back with his team. You can see we've got Geary, or Gree. Paul's looking really strong, leading out. But this is a nice pace. 2.3, 2.4, it's just nice. Do my turn on the front. Now your pace will always go up a little bit. You saw me, my pace up to 2.7 there when I was off the front. And that's normal. The folks behind are going to be doing a bit less than that. So it's all about keeping a pace that everybody's comfortable with. You can see it's not until I actually get back to the front where my pace starts to rise, and then not for very long, because I'm not going to spend any significant time on the front. This is my recovery ride. Let the stronger riders like Luke and Nagiri do the pushing off the front, and the Swiss rider, whoever he is. Now in the GUI I've got names turned on, but you can see yourself that not everybody has got it turned on their end, because there's a few riders riding and the names are not showing up. You can see them in the rider list, but working out who they are can be quite difficult sometimes when you've got a group changing position all the time. It's very fluid. But this is good group riding, good group dynamics. You can see I'm saving wattage by staying in the middle or out to the side, but I'm only having to push 2.1, 2.3, which I'm more than happy to do on this ride tonight. It's just nice. And I'll change my earlier prediction. I said we'd be about 45-50 minutes. We won't be, not at this pace. we're going to be more like, well, we're 25 now and we're not even halfway, so we're going to be more closer to the hour, which is perfect for this group ride. Absolutely perfect. But that's because the group's slowed down reasonably well. You've still got riders out front pushing 2.7 like Tiberius. But the rest of us, we're just ambling along, swapping the leads and having a good time. And there you go, you can see I'm pushing my nose in the front. My pace goes up when I do, but as soon as I get to the front, I'm deliberately just easing off slightly to take me behind a rider and to get a wheel, so that I don't have to push the air out the front of the ride. I mean, sometimes it's unavoidable depending on where you're coming up. Like you can see, I'm on the right hand side of the group, nobody in front of me. So if I keep on pushing, I'm going to end up on the front. But I'm actually easing off so that the people in the middle can take over. Like Paul is now leading out. I'm what we call half wheeling him. So Paul's just in front of me. And now I'm dropping back a little bit. This is a great group of humans, you're right, Paul. Very enjoyable. Everybody doing the fair share. Ingrid looks pretty strong as well. Okay, so we're coming up to the halfway point, at which we should go under a yellow banner. That usually denotes the halfway point. Although because we're doing laps, oh, there we go. Because we're doing laps, no, we're not going to get the halfway, we're just going to get the lap banner. So this is end of lap 2, and we're doing 4. So this is the halfway point. There we go. Now what I will do after the ride is finished is I will compare lap times, but I'm pretty darn sure the first lap went way quicker than the second. And it may be that we'll just roll around this lap and then speed up for the last. And Paul's saying his 2 fastest laps. Well done, Paul. But I know for a fact Kate's capable of a lot more than this, as am I. Yeah, Kate's mentioning the Saturday rides, you see, where I know I've been keeping an eye on her training. You might not know it. And I've been keeping my eye on her, seeing how she's doing. And I know she's putting some fast laps on the Saturdays. It comes, Paul, it comes, lad. You look where I was 6 months ago and where I am now. Huge change. coming back from a pretty serious injury, but that's not, you know, just trying to get back into wanting to ride again competitively was the main stumbling block for me. I don't think it was, well, it was about recovering from injury, but it was more in my head. Did I really want to start training again? So entering races was a way of me just testing myself. And once I start competing, I'm a very competitive person. It was only natural I'd want to improve my fitness and improve my technique. Hence, trying to learn the basics of the drafting. Oh, 7 months ago I had a large brain lesion. Wow. Well done for coming back then, Paul. I'm a cancer survivor. They gave me 12 months to live and I proved them wrong. Rode around the world for 2.5 years. So I've been there. Been given no chance. Well, they gave me 12 months. And like I say, 18 months later, I was still cycling. I was getting ill, but I was still cycling. Oh. Yeah, so you can see I'm slightly overpaced now because I've hit the front and I'm having to push hard. So I'm going to drop back, take a bit of a rest. The riders take over. Paul should take a rest too. If you're listening, just drop off a little. Don't do too much. Oh, wow. I lost sight in my right eye. But my brain rewired. I lost sight for about a week, I think. Then my brain rewired. I lost my speech for 6 weeks. I think it goes, Kate. You must have heard me about taking over on the front. So you can see when I say drop back, you can see exactly where I've dropped back to, the middle of the pack, behind the front wheels. And you can see I'm saving a significant amount of wattage by doing that. So not only does it give me a chance to recover, but it's also, you know, it's like taking a break. You just spin the wheels nice and easy, but there's no real resistance. I could do this pace all day and all night. And have done so in the past. fact, this is about the pace I set myself. 32 kilometers an hour was the pace I set myself when I did the indoor cycling record at Eurobike in 2016. I set myself a target of 32 kilometers an hour, and I kept that. Well, I did 1600 kilometers in 52 hours. And then my good friend Chris Hopkinson, Hoppo, another ultra endurance cyclist, he broke my record a few weeks later. I was a little bit pissed off, but because he's a friend, you know, didn't mind that much. Being a stranger, I think I'd have minded more. And I actually advised him, I actually gave him some help. So yeah, we worked together. We worked nicely together. And talking about Hoppo and working together, this coming Saturday over on Swift, they're doing a memorial ride for Aerobic, the ultra cyclist that got killed in a car accident. Now, for those that don't know, Aerobic was probably the greatest ultra endurance cyclist of all time. His record has now been superseded by Strasser, Christoph Strasser, but Euro was head and shoulders above anybody else in the race across America. 5-time winner, last time in 2010, which is the year he was killed. So, an absolutely amazing athlete, somebody who I don't have very many cycling heroes, but you was certainly one of them. As I got into ultra cycling, he's just so inspiring what the guy was doing and the level with which he could perform at. I mean, I'm pretty good at going without sleep, but compared to somebody like you aerobic, I'm a novice. So anyway, back to what I was saying. On Saturday, Chris is running 2 rides, one at 6 o'clock or 600 GMT, and then he's repeating that ride at 1300 GMT. And it's about a 100-kilometer ride, drop in, drop out ride. And what I've decided to do is do exactly the same ride, not the 6 o'clock in the morning, but the afternoon ride. So 1300 hours GMT, I'm leading a 104-kilometer ride in memory of you. You'll find it in the calendar. I don't know how many we've got to signed up. We had something like 14 when last I checked. So you should be able to find it in the calendar. And you know, if you like what I do, you know, putting on these group rides, doing the race commentary and everything else, come and support us. It's going to be live streamed, there's going to be Discord, there's going to be a tie-in with what's going on over on Swift. I'll try and tie that in as well. So it'd be really nice if we could get a good crowd. Now, I don't know whether that question was for me. I haven't got my glasses with me. Let's just have a quick look and see if I can see that. What is the elevation like? Oh, on your road, Kate. Because the elevation on Saturday's ride is going to be very, very challenging. About 1.5 kilometer of elevation in 100 kilometer. So not to be sneezed at. Oh, Rob's joined us. Welcome. Nice to see him. For those that don't know, Rob Stone is an absolute stalwart of my group rides. I mean, the guy regularly wins the CTT 10, which I also cover on the Monday evenings. He won last night. I wasn't able to cover it, but I know he won. So Rob Stone is like a 21-minute 10 man, and yet here he is coming on my group rides, hanging out with me. He generally pulls me around the courses. Certainly when I'm wanting to do a bit of a faster pace, he does. I need to close my Kate's wheel just on talking, otherwise I'm going to lose it. Put in a bit of an effort here. There we go. And that's all that's required. You just need to put in a bit of an effort. To get on the wheel. So yeah, Rob usually pulls me around, and he's pulling us both around now, as you can see. Name is not above his bike, but the guy in red with a red bike, that's Rob Stone. A very, very class act, and a nice all-round guy to boot. If ever you want a wheel to follow, this is your man, because he will look after you, as he's done with me on the Dirty Reaver course so many times. When everybody else has left me behind, Rob's pulled me back. So I'm really happy to see him on this ride and joining our group, and he'll pull us back to this group here, no doubt about that, because we got the last lap and we all want to be together. So come on, Rob, I know you're listening. Do the business. Let's all join up together. Good riding, Kate, good drafting. I see you've learnt that. You look so good at it as well. Absolutely perfect, actually. Look at how far behind Rob's wheel she is. Absolutely perfect, better than me. And there we are, we're back. So all back together, we got Luke. We got Ingrid. We got Paul. We got Velas. Really nice group. Well done, everybody. And 7 kilometers to go, so this has been really, really enjoyable. Pace has gone up slightly towards the end, as I said it would. But I don't think anybody minds when you're doing group riding like this. Not like we're dropping people. I think everybody that wants to be here is actually here. Just worked out who the red and white shirt is. That's Tiberius. Oh, GCN. Yeah, he's wearing the GCN kit. So that's Tiberius wearing the GCN kit. I think it is. Yeah, there we go. Off the front. Well, if this is your fastest laps, Paul, you're doing well. You're riding well, sir. Now that's always the danger whenever you're typing, whenever I'm typing, there's always the danger of being dropped out the back. Thankfully, Paul and Kate decided to wait for me. But we've lost 20 metres from the group in front. Very easy to do. A moment's inattention and you can be out the back. Thankfully, Paul's strong enough to pull us. Well, not Paul, Rob again. God, he's a stalwart. Pulled his back, look. What a start. And as soon as his work's done, look, he eases up. Job done. What an absolute star. I love these group rides. There's good camaraderie. We generally get, you know, a good bunch of regulars and a few newcomers joining. And I love them, mate. I've really missed it this last couple of weeks, that's for sure. But I've been just too ill to take part. This is the best I've breathed in 2 weeks, I think. So it's definitely helping. Whether I'll pay for it later. Nice hot bath should help. Yeah, I'm sorry, Rob, but you're constantly pulling me back. I'm just dropping off the back because I'm... Come on, concentrate. Perfect drafting. Right in the middle, behind the wheel, Don't get much better than that, drafting. You all right, Kate? Come on, close up. Good lass. That's it. Okay, that's our man out front court. So we should all basically coming together now. If somebody goes for a long one, and the pace is going up, as you can tell. As it always does at this time in this ride rather. We always have a bit of a push towards the end of the last lap on this route. So you have to keep the power down. And watch your positioning. That's another thing to watch out for, folks. If you're last man with another rider, be careful. Don't wait for him to close the gap. Like you say, he didn't there. And I pulled up and got back to the group. Because there's every chance he may not be strong enough. And if he's not strong enough and you're staying with him, you're gone. Goodbye. And I've made that mistake. I don't make it anymore. If I'm with a rider out the back, I take no notice of him in terms of getting back to the pack. Unless obviously he's going fast and I'm on his wheel. I don't use him as a guide as to when to speed up and when to slow down, because that's proved fatal in the past. Come on, Kate, close up. Yeah, Rob's doing the job with her. Or is it Paul? Okay, 1 kilometre to go. And the pace is really ramping up now. 3 watt kilos. Come on, folks, keep it going. We can do this. Hard work. I'd normally change gear, but I'm scared if I do, I'll lose my position. I have to stay at 90. Ah, fantastic ride, folks. Well done, everybody. That was good. That was really, really, really enjoyable. I'm absolutely soaking, but in a good way. No problem, Girams. Thanks for coming. Thanks everybody for coming. I'm going to close it down now and get in that bath. That was good. That was nice. Okay, I'll say good night. Thanks, folks. Let's shut it all down.